AEW Dynamite took place in the venue that is their most famous venue in their history, which has been short, but they've had All In there, which was not AEW show, but so it's really what launched AEW. A year later, they have All Out, which took place in the Sears Center, and that's where Chris Jericho won the AEW title. So pretty big venue. And of course, this is the 5th show in Chicago in the last 6 weeks of the 2 biggest wrestling companies. You had on Friday, you had SmackDown. Saturday, you had NXT. Sunday, you had Survivor Series. Monday, you had Raw. You had nothing on Tuesday, but then on Wednesday, you have AEW Dynamite. So 5 of the last 6 days, there's been a wrestling event in the city of Chicago. So I'm sure some of those Chicago fans, I mean, they're so passionate. They've probably been to all 5. I'm sure there's plenty of them. So the whole show is built around Chris Jericho's big celebrations, and it's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's and that's the theme of it. So you have a marching band on the ramp at the Sears Center, and then they have a Soul Train Jones who introduces Jericho. If you don't know who Soul Train Jones really is, it's Virgil. It's Lonely Virgil. It's the guy who is somewhere in under train tracks trying to get people to buy an autograph from him. Lonely Virgil. That's one of the funniest names. Virgil's hilarious. He's one of the best people to follow on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter anymore, but if I was, he was always very entertaining. So Jericho comes down to the ring with a little bit of the bubbly. You have Jericho and Excalibur on commentary. He wants a big thank you from the fans. They did chant, "Thank you, Jericho." He's getting a thank you from AEW and from AEW executives. He says he brings down the inner circle. He does the whole little bit of the bubbly. It's kind of getting an annoying thing. They had Sammy Guevara there. He gives them a cardboard standee of him and Jericho. Proud and Powerful gives him a basket, and then Jake Hager, he brings out a goat and he names it Chris Jericho, which is strange. They bring in they lift the big box, and what they find is it's Chris Jericho's father, Ted Irvine, in a Rangers jersey. So Ted Irvine played in the NHL. Jericho, he's never really talked much about that, but his father was in the NHL. And Chicago hates the Rangers. It's New York, and Irvine is total heel here. He rips into the Chicago Blackhawks, praises the Rangers, talks about how they used to always beat them. He's doing really hilarious. And then Jericho brings in Justin Roberts in the ring. He starts to mess with him, and all of a sudden it turns bad. They throw Justin Roberts to the ground. They start to beat up the poor guy. Then they have SCU comes to make the save. Soul Train Jones rolls out of the ring, and SCU beats down the inner circle, and they get the better of them. They run down all the matches for later tonight, and of course the main event is Chris Jericho, Scorpio Sky. Tony Schiavone's off tonight. He has to cover the Georgia Bulldogs in their basketball game, so I guess he's busy doing Georgia stuff. They have Dasha, who is now our ring announcer, and I think that's the girl. She was in WWE. That's Dasha. Yeah, they brought in Dasha, I guess. I don't know if it's the same one, but she is your ring announcer. They bring in the Best Friends of Thorne Cassidy and Lucha Brothers against the Best Friends. Good match up here. They beat the Lucha Brothers. They're a really great team. They're over as hell, but they beat them to give the win to the Best Friends. It's fine. I thought they could have had the Lucha Brothers win, but they went with Best Friends. I guess they'll probably get a tag team title shot next. They announced the rankings for the women. You have Hikaru Shida is number 1, and she's probably going to get the next title shot. Next is Bea Priestley comes to the ring. Then you have Emi Sakura, who's her tag team partner. I'm not a huge fan of Emi Sakura. I don't know, the whole Freddie Mercury mustache thing when she comes out, it just doesn't cut it for me. So Chris Stadlander and Hikaru Shida are the opponents. It's okay. It's a decent matchup here, a decent women's match. Only your second women's match. I mean, you already had a long talking segment to start. That kind of reminds me of WWE already. It's kind of hard to win 2 hours every week. I think it's starting to take its toll. We'll see how their ratings are. I haven't seen NXT yet, but NXT beat AEW last week in ratings. Now, that was obviously due to a lot more going on in NXT. That was Raw and SmackDown guys were there, but they did beat them. Anyway, you had Babe Presley and Emi Sakura win the match, so they get the win. And we'll see what's next for them. I think I still think Hikaru will go probably face Shida will face Rio. John Moxley is in the back, gives a promo how violent he is, typical Moxley stuff. They come back and they show Cody Rhodes makes his big grand entrance. He rises from the floor with Pyro to help him. I guess Cody's like Triple H, but at least with Triple H, he only does his big major entrance at WrestleMania every year. That's it. There's just one entrance at Mania. Cody has to do on every single show. His opponent is in the ring, and it's a guy named Matt Nix. Quick match. Cody gets a figure 4 leg lock, gets Matt to quick tap out, quick squash here. He gets the mic, he calls out MJF, and then all of a sudden the masked man comes out of the ring and pulls off his mask, and it's the Blade. He attacks Cody, followed by the Butcher, who hits him with the standing suplex, and all of a sudden you have a woman called the Bunny. So you have the Blade, the Butcher, and the Bunny. And the Bunny comes into the ring, and they're all dressed in black leather, and the Bunny is, who is it? The Bunny is Allie. Allie, that's really cool. Allie looks great. I love her. She looks smoking hot as a blonde. She looked good as a brunette already with her body and stuff. But man, as a blonde, she's hot. And that whole almost like a Catwoman outfit. Ooh, man, that's gotta love that. So Allie's heel. I guess these two guys look so much older than her though. So one of them I think she's dating. I don't know. But that's the new faction. They beat down Cody. It was a cool angle. So we'll see what they do with these guys. But you have the Blade, the Butcher, and the Bunny. So we'll see what they do there. The Bastard Pac's on his way to the ring, and he is facing Kenny Omega, and that's a weird match to have right away, but they're having Pac and Kenny Omega on the show. A rematch from All Out in which Pac beat Kenny Omega, and here it's a good matchup here. I enjoyed it. He went through a commercial. They did well. They did the small screen. However, they give the win to Kenny Omega. They gave him the victory here. He gets his win back, and Pac's really lost a lot of momentum ever since he lost to Hangman Page at the last pay-per-view. But Kenny Omega with the win, pins Pac cleanly, and he finally gets a big win. More to come later. MJF is in the ring, and he's with the Wardlow, and they are fighting, and it's a long promo. And his opponent's Adam Hangman Page. And Hangman, talk about losing momentum. Hangman looked like he was going to beat Jericho. Some people thought he was going to beat Chris Jericho at All Out. Now it's just there's nothing. He's just another guy now. MJF's lost a lot of momentum. Clean win by Adam Page has lost a lot of momentum. MJF beats him clean. He's getting a big win, a big push. Jesus. DDP's in the ring, and the crowd loves him. They give him a huge ovation. He goes after MJF. He says, 63-year-old man can kick your ass all over Chicago, and it's on. They fight, and then you have refs come out, and they break it up. And then during the commercial, Dustin comes to the ring with Jake Hager, who's in the ring too. But the Inner Circle jump Dustin before he can do anything. Young Bucks come out to make the save. And after the battle, Sammy gets the super kick party, and he gets set up for the Shattered Dream. So a good win for them. They do a stupid Dark Order video package. It's awful. You have SCU come out in your main event, Scorpio Sky against Chris Jericho for the NXT Championship. And I wonder who's going to win this match. It was good. I mean, Scorpio Sky's a veteran, so hey, you have to have respect for him. They had a good matchup. Both these guys are old. I mean, Scorpio he's the youngest guy of SCU, but Jericho is 48 years old. I remember if Jericho and Daniels ever wrestled, they'd probably have 100 years in between of them, I think. But Jericho beat Scorpio Sky cleanly. He retains the AEW Championship. After the match, however, he gets out of the ring, but he comes back in, and someone's coming from the crowd, and it is Mox. John Moxley comes down to the crowd. He stares at Jericho in the crowd. They have a big stare down, and that'll be your next program, the AEW title. You have Chris Jericho defending against John Moxley. Some might complain it's too WWE-ish. Yeah, it probably is, but I don't know. I think they might have Moxley take the belt from Jericho, to be honest. I think that's how they do it. But yeah, up next, you have Chris Jericho and John Moxley as your next major program in AEW.